Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TCRA LGBTQ show. Okay, we are so glad to have you with us, and we take calls. We are interactive. We can take calls at 312-738-1060. We are brought to you by the Civil Rights Agenda at 2129 Northwestern Avenue, Chicago. Their phone number is 773-235-8852. If you would like to volunteer to help the organization, which supports the LGBTQIA community, by all means give them a call, or you can stop by, okay? But that's how you can reach them. And if you are LGBTQIA, they may be able to help you. Okay? All right. So I had a guest that was scheduled to be on tonight, who, because of medical problems, cannot make it, so she won't be on. I do want to say at this point that we are very, very lucky and honored to have Congressman Danny Davis scheduled for our August 18th broadcast. Okay, so we hope that you will join us and talk to your friends and let them know that we are going to have a discussion with Congressman Danny Davis from Illinois. Okay, all righty. In the absence of my guest, who was not able to come, there's some things that I would like to talk about. And if there is something you would like to talk about, again, please call 312-738-1060. Okay? In the news, we have heard about Sean Spicer, who is the press secretary for the White House, suddenly resigned today. He didn't give any specific reason for jumping ship, but I am going to speculate that he, among others who could very well be doing the same thing in the near future, are actually trying to avoid being caught up in a ship that's about to go down. Okay? And that's kind of the way I see it now. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I can see that our president is not real happy with anybody that doesn't support him to the nth degree. Okay? It is beyond me, frankly, how he has survived to this point, given all of the stuff that has come out about him and his son and some of his campaign fellows, which are totally inappropriate, okay, and is defined so by our Constitution and our laws. So it'll be interesting to me to see how many more people actually do jump off the ship. It is sinking, although he won't admit it. He doesn't want to admit it. And it's very possible that many of his appointees and staff are trying to tell him to no avail, which is why they're probably quitting. You can't be a leader and expect to not take advice or not take hints from your fellow workers. So it's going to be interesting, I think, and frankly, I think it's unfortunately a long time coming. But we'll see. And Attorney General Sessions, who is no longer in favor as he was when he was first appointed. And there is friction against Trump and Sessions, Trump administration and Sessions, mostly from recusing himself regarding the investigation for a fraudulent election, okay, which I'm almost certain President Trump is also trying to get Mr. Mueller fired or off the case. And in the news I've read, he is trying to stonewall any information regarding the Russian investigation. And Mr. Mueller has expanded the investigation to look into some of his businesses and see what's going on and see if there is in fact anything that is contradictory to what it should be. So with that in mind, I mean, if anybody's got any comments or information, by all means, give us a call. I unfortunately read in the Tribune, I believe it was yesterday or sometime this week, there was an editorial about how the liberals, or the left, as we may be known as, the liberals are the ones to blame for any trouble that arises from the way this country is being run, as well as some of the other countries across the pond, okay? And that we are the troublemakers. And I have this, and only this to say, that is a total mislabeling of anything that I can imagine. There are liberals and there is the far left, because the far right, even though they use the name right, the far right does not give any way or tolerance to those who are different. The far right shows no respect for other people wanting to live their lives differently. The far right wants to preach to everybody how they should live, how I should live, how you should live. And that's not right. They don't have that. That's not part of their existence. That was not a promise by God or anybody else, that they could in fact go out and tell people when they're wrong or what they're doing is wrong. And we have courts of law for criminal activity. And criminal activity, by all means, should be nailed. But when it comes to the choice of how you want to dress, who you want to care about, what color house you want, what kind of car you want, how you pray or don't pray, that's no one else's business, period, flat. So my thing to all of these far right conservatives is simply, we wouldn't have any complaints if you just stayed out of our business. Okay, and that's what it all boils down to. Okay, there are many religious denominations that make bold statements about how much of a sinner we are, or what should happen to us, or what we shouldn't be doing, so on and so forth. That's none of their business. If they want to live the way they believe, then that's fine. That's their business. But how I live is none of their business, nor any conservative's business, or anyone's business, period. I don't care if they're liberal, conservative, far left, far right, in the middle, upside, downside. Nobody has a right to tell me, nor do they have the right to tell you how you should live. That's up to you, as long as you're not committing a criminal offense or a crime. You commit a crime, then by all means, you have to pay for it. But being who I am and what I am and where I am and how I am and this, that, and the other thing is my prerogative and guaranteed by the Constitution. Okay? And the Bill of Rights, for that matter. So, when I see something like that, that liberals are responsible for all of the troubles and so on and so forth, no, it's not. It's because they're being persecuted. It's because they're being repressed, oppressed. If that weren't happening, they'd have no reason to voice their concerns, demonstrate, or do whatever they do. Okay? The problem is our government and other countries' governments that have gone so far right as to say, okay, there are people out here that don't count. And that isn't right. Not in this country, whose Bill of Rights and Constitution said all men are created equal. And when they say all men, they mean all persons, all individuals are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and not having to fear. Okay? And that's not happening, folks. There's too many out there that think that for whatever reason, God gave them the ability, or whatever you want to call it, or the sanctions to tell other people how to live. No. We can live whatever way we want. So, going back to Mr. Sessions, something that bothers me about Mr. Sessions is, in addition to having a dispute, obviously, with our president, I don't understand where he's coming from totally, because I read in the paper recently that he made a statement that he is going to actually pursue and investigate the crimes against transgenders, specifically the fact that we had 37 transgenders killed last year and 26 or 27 the year before that, and that this year is running about the same way. So he said that he was going to do more investigation on it, and that he was going to do something to correct it. And yet this is the very same person that one day after he became Attorney General, he rescinded all of the executive orders that President Obama placed out there to help protect transgenders. And of course that was with Trump's permission. So is he really changing his colors? Or is he a chameleon using different colors to save himself? It's rather interesting to me that there's so much of this going on in Washington, D.C. Our government right now is totally crippled because no one's telling the truth in the White House or the staff. No one is coming clean. Trump Jr. did to a certain degree, but now his dad has got him totally muzzled. So even if he does go in front of the committee that's investigating all of this, you know darn well he's not going to say anything, just like Sessions didn't, so on and so forth. So you cannot read in any way, shape, or form exactly where this administration is going, outside of the possibility, and I still say this, that I think Mr. Trump wants to be a dictator. And he is very close to Putin, although he may not admit it. He sure likes him a lot, that's for sure. So it's a bad time. I mean, it is a very, very bad time for us. And I don't know how to advise anybody on how to proceed with getting their thoughts out and to go, get through all of this. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay? And again, if you have any comments or information or ideas along these lines, call us 312-738-1060. We are here to have a discussion, and input is quite welcome. And if you disagree, you disagree. If you agree, you agree. If you've got some ideas, you've got some ideas. And we are very much interested in listening to what you have. Okay? It is a very hard time for the LGBTQIA community from many respects. First of all, we don't know who's supportive and who's not anymore. An example that I just gave is Sessions, who at one point said we didn't deserve the rights that we were given under Obama's executive orders. Now says that he's going to do something about the killings. And then Mr. Spicer, who covered very well for Trump in a lot of cases, a lot of times, a lot of ways, is quitting, okay? And so it's very difficult to know exactly what's going to happen and how to proceed. My suggestion is that we proceed to find ways to get our voices across and let the U.S. Congress, the U.S. Senate, and the White House staff know where we stand and that we do not accept what is going on. Lying down, standing up, whatever way you want to put it, okay? We do not need this type of turmoil. We do not need to be driven back 30 years because of a narcissistic bully who thinks that he should be the only one telling people what to do, how to do it, when, where, and so on. That's not his job. That's not his job at all. Which is why he is actually cost us some of our best allies. And we have many allies, evidently with the exception of France. We have many allies that just don't trust us anymore. Germany's a good one, okay? Germany doesn't trust us. Germany wants to make the European continent more self-reliant because they don't feel they're getting any backing from us, okay? And we want, so they want to see something substantial, whether it be the environment, whether it be NATO, whether it be anything else. They want to see something more substantial. Okay. Once again, time is running short, so I will wrap this up. Once again, I want to remind everybody that we will be, our guest next month, August 18th, same time, same station, will be Congressman Danny Davis. And he will be here, and we will hope to talk about civil rights and the agendas in Congress and the Senate, given the fact that there's some Republicans that don't seem to go along with their party at this point in time because they're open-minded and they are not afraid. Is it possible that the amendments or the new Civil Rights Act is going to have some chance? That's one of my interests, quite frankly. Okay, and hopefully we can get some ideas, answers, and know where that's going when Congressman Davis is here. So, I invite everybody to please join us again next month on the 18th, same place, same station, okay, same time. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, fantastic week, month, and so on. Okay? Until then, goodbye.